A big thing that tripped me up was the binding. It's fraying a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you, I put this vest project down for a few weeks. In this video, I make what is categorically the worst thing I have ever made. So many things didn't go quite as I expected or quite to plan, but it has taught me an awful lot. So I have made a list of all the things that I would change, and I'm going to pop back in at the end of the video to tell you all the things that I've learned. In the meantime, enjoy watching me kind of fail at making this a vest, and stay tuned to hear what I would do differently next time. I'm setting myself a bit of a challenge in today's video to see how quickly I can get this quilted vest finished. If you didn't see one of my previous videos, I'll link it above, but I got up to this stage of making my first quilted vest and the first clothing pattern that I've followed by patchworking together pieces of fabric to cut out my first vest pieces. But next it's time for the all-important part, to start getting it sewn together. I think first we're going to be making the binding. Now, because I made all of these pieces out of second-hand linens, I don't think I've got a big enough piece of any of the colours in the vest currently to actually make binding. So I think what I'm going to do is search through my stash to see if I've got anything that will go nicely with the colours that I've got so far and make a nice contrasting binding. So that's step one. Then it's going to be the all-important part of getting the batting cut and starting to construct the vest and quilt it. Okay, let's go. Well, I definitely didn't make as much progress the other day than I was expecting, but I feel like that's always the case because I always think things are going to take me less time than they actually do, and they definitely take me at least double, I think, the amount of time that I allot to something. But the other day, I think a big thing that tripped me up was the binding. So I followed the binding method in the pattern and the demo video, but it was very new to me and one that I hadn't tried before. And I think that the linen that I was using just had way too much movement in. So by the time I'd kind of cut it all and drawn on all my lines and then tried to match them up, stitched it together, like there was so much movement in the linen that as I stitched it, kind of my joins were just misaligning. And it's all right at the start, you just get a little bit of misalignment, but then by the end it's kind of widened and widened. So when I went to cut it in the spiral method, it was just far too much variation. So what I did the other night is I just did another set of binding in the method that I usually follow. I tried again with the same linen, but it was definitely just too flexible. I guess especially for a binding as well, I'm not that experienced, so I hadn't really considered choosing the right type of fabric as well as just the right colour and what I think looks nice. So I went for one of the other navies that I had, and this one is much sturdier, so it definitely did work better. And I used my usual binding method of just cutting long strips and chain piecing them. I think that means that this is not technically bias binding, because I don't think that like I found the bias, because these were a pair of trousers. I just cut the longest length so I didn't have to sew together loads of smaller pieces and have loads of joining seams. But I really don't know why people cut binding on the bias. It's not actually something I've really come across before. In my previous quilting, it's always just been cut strips and chain piece them. So if you know why is cutting on the bias so important, then please do let me know, because I am pretty clueless at this point. But yeah, I've got my binding now, and I have ironed down the 3/8 of an inch little strip on the top, because this is the first time that I'm going to be top stitching my binding down. Usually I hand stitch all my binding. The only issue I'm having with my binding right now, as you can probably see, is that it's fraying a lot. I'm gonna see how it fares as I keep going, but obviously as it frays you're losing a bit of the width. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of put it down gently and not touch it until I need it again. So what we're on to next is I'm going to be giving my pieces a press, and then it's time to get the quilting lines marked on, and then it will be time to start pinning onto and cutting the batting. I don't know if I'm the one you want. Should I go? I'm not gonna lie to you, I put this vest project down for a few weeks. I don't know why. I think I was a bit daunted by having to do the binding and top stitching it all. So I just kind of got distracted and moved on to some other things. But we are finally back and it is time to get this finished once and for all because I would like it off my project list and as a finished piece instead of a work in progress. So that is the aim of the game today. Now, I've not got much left to do on it, but I think it's also been one of those projects that has challenged me and some things haven't gone quite as well as I had hoped. So I started to fall out of love with it a bit. But it's going to be great to get it done. It's my first garment, so I want to get it finished. The next things that I've got to do are, I have the shoulder seams pinned together, but I just need to top stitch along this join so that they are finished. And then it is time to get onto the binding. All I need to do is pin the binding around the armholes onto the main vest side, stitch that and then pin it over onto the wrong side and stitch that. And then I'm presuming the same all the way around the vest. I'll just have some tidying up to do and then we will finally be done. Let's go. So you've just watched me make that vest and it definitely did not go to plan. The binding was especially tricky. I even had to cut it in one place, which was definitely the wrong decision to make and I shouldn't have done it because it was impossible to rectify. So I have written some key things down on a list here that I'm going to go through of all the things that I would do differently next time, and also some of the changes that I made which I kind of thought wouldn't be a big deal but definitely did have an impact. Number one, I used a different type of fabric than I should have. So being a quilted vest, I should have used kind of a quilting cotton or a normal cotton fabric, I think. Something sturdier, even a really lightweight denim. I used a variety of secondhand natural fabrics and most of them were linen. And I like how they look and I liked how the patchwork turned out, but my God, were they a pain to work with. There was two main things that I had a real issue with which I wasn't expecting. One was the fraying. So especially on the binding, there was just a lot of fraying, and I think that that contributed to me losing a bit of the width. The second was there was just too much movement in the fabric. I think with using second-hand linens, some of them, you know, have been maybe worn more than others. They've got different weaves, and it meant cutting accurate pieces was really difficult. And especially when you're trying to create something reversible, or just a nicely finished garment in general, you want both sides to really line up. And the challenge that I had in doing that as the pattern progressed and as I moved through the steps just got greater and greater. The second point definitely links to the first, is that I would not do the kind of patchwork again, certainly not as a first try. I would do single pieces of fabric on the front and back. I think doing a patchwork effect looks really, really nice, but if I was going to do that again, I definitely need to use a quilting cotton, and I think I just need more experience. And also just because of the length of time that it took. This project really has dragged on, and I definitely would have put it down if it hadn't been for filming part of it and kind of committing to finishing it, because it was just such a challenge and I really did fall out of love with it. So yeah, I definitely would have made things easier for myself if I could go back. And number 3, on the quilting lines, I definitely would use my usual quilting stitch length if I were to do it again. I'm just not as much of a fan of the slightly lengthened quilting stitches. I do prefer slightly shorter ones. And another big thing is I would use my quilting technique to weave in the ends. So what I usually do when I've quilted my kind of larger quilts and other projects before is that I put my needle in and out to create tails, and then quilt and do the same at the end. And then I go back and with a hand needle I quilt in or stitch in the long tails that I have. Now, I would definitely do that if I was to do it again, because I really don't like the little backwards and forwards double stitching at the top and the bottom of the quilting lines, and I don't think they're always hidden by the binding, so I would definitely do my usual weaving in of the ends. Number 5, I definitely learned the importance of creating a bias binding for something like this, and I think I would have really benefited from having the extra little bit of tension as I pinned the binding round to create much neater curves. Number 6, I wish I had bought some little quilting clips for doing the binding, because using pins was so painful in both having to get them all in the quilt and lined up was really challenging. But second, just to avoid all the scratches, it was super difficult to work with that many sharp pins round the edge. And I think just having the little quilting clips to pin the binding round would have been easier, quicker, and less painful. And number 7 is all about cutting. I think that I should have cut wider binding. I honestly found the binding really, really challenging to fold over and get it neatly. And surprisingly, I actually did better on the armholes than round the edges. If you made it this far into the video, then thank you so much for watching. I will link my previous 2 videos, especially if you haven't seen the start of the vest, then you can go back and watch that. I am hoping to take on a slightly easier project next, because this one has really challenged me and I need something nice and easy to see me into the next season of sewing. Thanks for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye!